Welcome. I'm Lauren Pruitt, the Legal Director of Free State Justice. I'm excited to bring you crucial information about the voting process in Maryland in our voting guide for the 2024 primary elections three-part video series. I've divided this vital information into three short videos. The first video explains the primary election process, how to register to vote, and how to cast your vote. The second video covers finding your polling place, identification requirements, and changes to Maryland's voting laws. Lastly, the third video helps you understand what offices are on the primary ballot and where to find reliable information on candidates. I'm grateful to the Howard County Public Library System for partnering with us and allowing me to present this information to you. Thank you for joining me in this journey to empower ourselves with the knowledge and tools to make a difference in our communities. Understanding the primary election process is crucial as it's used by both the Democratic and Republican parties to select their candidates for the general election. Typically, you'll need to be registered with either one of those parties to be eligible to vote in the primary election. However, if nonpartisan offices are up for election in the primary, any voter can vote for these offices. The ballot you receive will vary depending on your party affiliation. If you wish to change your political party, you can do so during the designated voter registration periods. Check your voter registration card to ensure your party affiliation is correct so you can access the correct ballot when you vote. Remember, you don't have to be affiliated with a political party to vote. However, your choices on the primary ballot will be limited to a small number of nonpartisan races, such as the primary election to select nominees for your local Board of Education. To register to vote in Maryland, you must meet specific requirements, such as being a U.S. citizen, a Maryland resident, and at least 16 years old. If you are a minor, you can register to vote at 16, but you can only cast a ballot once you reach the age of 18. However, you can vote in the primary election at 17 years old if you will be 18 before the general election. Keep in mind that individuals who are incarcerated are not eligible to vote or register. After completing your imprisonment sentence, you can register to vote unless you have been convicted of buying or selling votes. There are special rules for people under court-ordered guardianship, and the Board of Elections can help them understand their voting rights. Various options are available if you want to register to vote in Maryland. One way is to use Maryland's online voter registration system to register online. Alternatively, you can mail a voter registration application to your local Board of Elections or the State Board of Elections. It's important to note that the deadline to register online or by mail was April 23rd, 2024. If you've chosen to mail your application, it must have been postmarked by that date. However, you can still register to vote in person if you've missed that deadline. Maryland has same-day registration, which means you can register and vote on the same day. To do this, you'll need to go to an early voting center in the county where you live or to your polling place on election day and bring a document that proves where you live. Acceptable documents include your MVA-issued license, MVA-issued ID card, change of address card, paycheck, bank statement, utility bill, or any other government document that shows your name and address. Moreover, you can also register to vote in person at several government offices and local organizations. The Board of Elections website provides detailed information on how to register and where to do so at elections.maryland.gov. To register to vote, you must provide basic information such as your name, gender, and date of birth. Additionally, federal law requires that you provide your Maryland's driver's license number or Maryland ID card number. If you don't have either of those, the last four digits of your Social Security number. It's important to note that your application won't be processed if you don't provide this information or affirm under penalty of perjury that you don't have any of those identification numbers. You'll also need to provide your mailing address and residential address. You can affiliate with a political party, which is required if you wish to vote in most of the primary elections. However, you can still vote in the general election in all races without being affiliated with a party. Additionally, this form can be used to update your name or address if either has changed since you first registered. The voter notification card is very important. This card provides that your registration has been processed and that you can now participate in Maryland elections. You should double check all the details on this card, such as your name and address, to ensure that everything is correct. If there are any errors, it is important to contact your local election office immediately to have them corrected. It's important to remember that any changes made less than 3 weeks before an election may not be reflected in the upcoming election. However, if you need help finding your information using your old details, officials can assist you. It's important to know that in Maryland, there are 3 ways to cast your vote: voting on election day, early voting, or by mail-in voting, which used to be called absentee voting. You'll be given a paper ballot to fill out when you vote. However, if you need assistance marking your ballot, you can use electronic marking devices available at the polling locations. The votes are then counted using electronic scanners. Primary elections will be held on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Polling places will be open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. If you go to a polling place different from the one that you are assigned, you must vote a provisional ballot so the Board of Elections can determine which electoral races you are eligible to vote in based on the district that you live in. You will be able to vote as long as you are in line at your polling place by 8 p.m., even if it is after 8 by the time you cast your ballot. Most people voting in person will mark their ballot privately and then take it to be scanned. You may have 1 or 2 children under the age of 18 with you when you mark your ballot. If you need someone to help you vote, you can bring someone or have 2 election judges assist you. If you bring someone to help you, they cannot be your employer or an agent of your employer, an officer or agent of your union, or a challenger or watcher. You can bring any printed material with you to help you vote. Please note you cannot use a phone, camera, or computer equipment inside a polling place, even while standing in line waiting to vote. So bringing printed reading materials can help pass the time. Early voting is like voting on election day. For the primary elections, early voting begins on Thursday, May 2nd, 2024, and lasts until Thursday, May 9th. You can vote at any early voting location in your county on any of the days from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., including the weekends. Like election day voting, you can cast a ballot if you are in line to vote by 8 p.m. There are fewer early voting locations than polling places, so it's essential to check the Board of Elections website to go to one of the locations in your county. Howard County has 5 early voting locations seen here. In Maryland, absentee voting is now called mail-in voting. You can receive a mail-in ballot via mail, fax, or email. The deadline to request a ballot by mail or fax is May 7th, and the deadline to request a ballot by email or online system is May 10th. Your request must be received by these dates, not just postmarked. If you miss these deadlines, please go to your local Board of Elections to request a mail-in ballot in person. Once you receive your ballot, mark it per the instructions and return it by mail or hand. If you choose to return it by mail, ensure that it's postmarked by or before May 14th, Election Day. If you prefer to return it by hand, you must take it to an official drop box or your local Board of Elections by or before 8 p.m. on Election Day. If you're looking for more information on voting in Maryland, be sure to visit the Maryland Board of Elections website. There you'll find the online voter registration link, which allows you to register to vote in federal, state, county, and city elections in Maryland. You can also request a mail-in ballot and update your registration if your name or address has changed. Additionally, you can change your registration to a new political party. Also, if you're interested, there are two other videos available that cover the primary election process, how to register to vote, how to cast your vote, the 2024 primary ballots, and where to find reliable information on the candidates. Thank you for viewing. Knowing how to find your polling place and what identification may be required to cast your vote is essential. Furthermore, there have been notable changes to Maryland's voting laws, and it's important for you to be aware of them. First, it's important to know where your assigned polling place is if you plan to vote in person on election day. You can easily find your polling place by visiting voterservices.elections.maryland.gov/polling place search. Even if you're voted at the same place for years, it's a good idea to double check that it hasn't changed. Suppose you accidentally go to the wrong polling place. In that case, you'll need to vote a provisional ballot and will only be able to vote in the available races at your actual polling place. There are different ballots for different districts based on your address. Polling places can change due to various factors such as redistricting or an increase in registered voters in a particular area, as well as for reasons related to the accessibility or availability of the polling place itself. It's always a good idea to plan ahead when it comes to voting. If you're worried about long lines or want to vote early, remember that you can take advantage of early voting at any location in your county. And if you prefer to vote by mail, drop off your ballot or mail it by election day to ensure that your vote is counted. It's important to know that you are assigned to a specific voting district based on your address when registering to vote. This district is a geographical area represented by a seat or several legislative or judicial bodies. Understanding that you can only vote for candidates running for office in your particular voting district in elections is crucial. Maryland is divided into 8 congressional districts, each represented by a member of the United States House of Representatives. Like every other state, Maryland elects 2 senators for 6-year terms, generally not at the same time. All districts will vote for the U.S. senators to represent the entire state of Maryland. It's worth noting that congressional and senatorial districts differ from legislative districts, which are administrative divisions of the state of Maryland created by the Maryland General Assembly to define an area of representation for the members of that assembly, which include our state senators and our state delegates. Maryland has 47 legislative districts. Some are even further divided by the letters A, B, or C. Additionally, 11 of Maryland's counties are governed by county councils. Similarly, Baltimore City is governed by a city council. You will also have school districts, which are special purpose districts that operate local public primary or secondary schools in a specific Maryland county. There are 24 school districts in Maryland. Maryland also uses election districts to divide larger geographic units such as counties, townships, cities. In these election districts, precincts are the smallest division of these districts and generally correspond to an individual's specific polling place. Each precinct has a specific polling station where its residents go to vote. Election districts and precinct numbers would generally correlate to each other. Here's a map of the congressional and legislative districts by precincts in Maryland. The Maryland Constitution sets out the procedures for defining these districts. This ensures that your vote truly counts and contributes to the democratic process. Every 10 years after each U.S. Census, the governor prepares a plan that sets out the boundaries for these districts. This is a crucial step as it determines how the state's political power is distributed. Here's an example of the redistricting plan for Howard County following the 2020 census. Polling places are denoted by the hyphenated numbers. As the districts change, the voting precincts may also change. Another set of districts relating to voting are the circuit court and appellate court districts. The circuit court districts are divided into 8 judicial circuits with a court in each of the 23 counties and Baltimore City. The appellate courts are divided into 7 appellate circuits. These districts are designed to be fair and representative, ensuring every citizen has a voice in their government. One thing to remember is that Howard County falls under the 5th district for circuit courts, but it's in the 3rd district for appellate courts. So if you're a Howard County voter, you'll elect judges who only run in those specific districts. Suppose you need clarification on which voting districts you belong to. In that case, you can find out by checking your voter notification card or by using Maryland's voter lookup tool at voterservices.elections.maryland.gov/voter search. Rest assured that in Maryland, most voters don't need to show an ID when voting. However, you may need to show an ID if you're casting your vote for the first time or registered by mail. But don't worry, you can provide a driver's license, motor vehicle identification card, or the last 4 digits of your social security number. Alternatively, you can show a current or valid ID, copy of a current utility bill, bank statement, government check, paycheck, or other government document that shows your name and address. The good news is that most people will already satisfy the ID requirement when they register to vote. You may also be asked to show ID if you have been registered but not voted for a long period of time. There were some notable recent changes to Maryland's voting laws. One of the main changes is related to mail-in ballots. Previously, ballot processing could only begin after the election day, which caused a delay in results. But now, mail-in ballots can be processed earlier, which will help with faster results. Additionally, if you forget to sign a mail-in ballot or your signature is unclear, you can now fix it through various means such as text or email. The Maryland Board of Elections will also post municipal election results on its website. This will make it easier for people to know the outcomes of their local elections. For those interested in being a part of the electoral process, the pay for election judges has been increased to at least $250 per day, or more depending on your responsibilities. Lastly, it's worth mentioning that threatening an election official or their family due to their role in overseeing the election is now considered a crime. This is an essential step towards ensuring the safety and fairness of the electoral process in Maryland. If you're looking for more information on voting in Maryland, be sure to visit the Maryland Board of Elections website. There you'll find the voter lookup tool, which will allow you to review your voter registration record, request a duplicate voter registration card, find your polling place, find out your voting districts, or find your local Board of Elections. You can also see the status of your mail-in or provisional ballot and view your sample ballot. If you're interested, there are two other videos available that cover the importance of voting, registering to vote, the 2024 primary ballots, and where to find information on the candidates. Thank you for viewing. I'm thrilled to share with you some essential information about which offices are on the 2024 primary ballot in Maryland and where to find reliable information about the candidates running for those offices. Regarding voting, the offices included on your ballot will depend on your specific address and the districts you fall under. Those who have registered as either Republican or Democrat can expect to see offices such as the President of the United States, and you'll have the chance to vote for your preferred candidate to run in the general election. The Senate and the House of Representatives are also essential offices as they hold the power to pass or reject federal legislation. Registered Republicans and Democrats can vote for their preferred senator and representative to run in the general election. These offices serve a crucial role in ensuring a system of checks and balances on the powers of the executive and judicial branches of government and fulfilling other important responsibilities. Suppose you haven't registered with a political party or have registered with another party besides Democrat or Republican, such as the Green Party or Libertarian Party. In that case, you may see different offices on your ballot limited to nonpartisan races such as Board of Elections. You may also see some state and local offices on your primary ballot. Circuit court judges generally handle more severe criminal and significant civil cases, including juvenile, domestic violence, and other family law cases such as divorce, custody, and child support. In the American presidential nominee selection process, our delegates represent the political interests of a group from their state at the national conventions. Both parties have a national convention, the Democrats and the Republicans. Delegates support one specific candidate within their given party with the aim of that candidate becoming the official party candidate for an upcoming presidential election. You may vote for the actual delegates or alternate delegates on your primary ballots. Finally, school boards are in charge of managing public school districts. They are composed of elected volunteers responsible for developing budgets and policies and overseeing the hiring and evaluation of superintendents. This may be the only office on the ballot for unaffiliated voters. Finding reliable information on candidates can be a daunting task. Still, it's crucial to make informed decisions regarding voting. One helpful tip is to look for a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization to assist with researching your candidates. There are a couple helpful websites that I have found that you can check out, such as Vote USA and procon.org. Vote USA allows you to enter your postal address to view the official contests, candidates, and ballot measures that will appear on your ballot. Candidate comparisons include pictures, bios, website, and social media links. Also includes objectives, positions, and the candidate's views on various important issues. Another website, procon.org, provides non-biased information for users. It offers well-sourced pros and cons of debatable issues, along with a host of relevant reference information, thoroughly researched and compiled by their staff and editors. Visiting the candidates' websites can be an excellent way to learn more about their background, platform, and positions on various issues. Similarly, checking out political party websites can provide information about the party's values, priorities, and endorsements. Researching and gathering information from multiple sources to be well informed before voting is always a good idea. Remember to check out the State Board of Elections website for all your voting needs. You can find it at elections.maryland.gov. There you can register to vote, update your voter information card, request a ballot, track your ballot, and much, much more. Additionally, the website has a page dedicated to debunking rumors about the election. You can access this at elections.maryland.gov/press_rumor. Additionally, the website has a page dedicated to debunking rumors about the election, which you can access at elections.maryland.gov/press_room/rumor_control. If you're interested, there are two other videos covering the primary election process: registering to vote, casting your vote, finding your polling place, and ID requirements are covered topics. Thank you for viewing.